So this is day one of doing a daily journal. I've done daily journals, but just written. This is the first time doing a video. And I'm gonna talk about some of the trades today that I took. First off, being with LUMN, Lumen Technologies. I've been stocking this one for a while, actually, since it was right around this day here, maybe August 21st. Really tight, low volume. I really thought it was a great setup. Here, next day came. I liked the way this it reclaimed itself in the same day. It kind of touched the 10 and just bounced right straight back up. And I did eventually buy here this day, taking it took it for a loss actually. Um, the break it broke out fantastic on the day. It just faded all day, and I didn't really like the action on it, so I decided to sell it this day here. And then I missed this short yesterday, but I kind of like the way it reclaimed the 20. And then I was hoping that if it opened underneath the 20 moving average or kind of weaker, that we're going to get a pretty good short. How long? I have no idea how deep it was going to be. But I was looking to short it today. And let's see, this one hit. Okay, here. So this was the initial short. So there was SSR on today, which is SSR rule where it has to be uptick into your short. So my strategy was today was to see if it's going to reject the red to green here. This dotted line is where it closed yesterday. Um, and I wanted to see if it's going to come up to here and reject it, which eventually did, but I was trying to short at 525 when it kind of rejected 528-ish, 526. And I saw it coming down, and I tried to short it, but I couldn't get in. And I couldn't eventually get into right around here, which is around 513. That was like the first uptick. It just went straight down 10 cents. And I was hoping, 10 cents. I was hoping this was gonna be, like an all-day fader, just like a long, maybe fade down to $4, something around that area, maybe more, depends. So I was willing to risk red to green here once it rejected it, but it actually never gone lower than 504. So I don't think this was a bad trade. Honestly, I don't. I think it was pretty good. I was looking for an extra fade day. I didn't expect it to do this, obviously. But yeah, so I think this was a great trade. Didn't risk too much. The risk was there. I always put in the stop orders. Everything was risk is what number one is always taken care of. I always take care of risk first, knowing how much to lose before I even get in the trade. So yeah, this was Lumen, my first trade, or LUMN. Next is so that I showed you the daily on that one already, right? Yeah, I was looking for a fall through of the red. Next was ASTS, and I completely butchered this. Just completely butchered the trade. It's absolutely horrendous. It was disgusting how bad I did this trade. This is the trade here. So in the morning, I drew some like a support and resistance line that it was using pre-market levels and also the last previous day levels. Something that I learned earlier, a couple years ago. But I was waiting for it to come up to this line. I didn't want to short into it. There's been many times where I've short into the line and I've gone like just absolutely obliterated. Also, it was like it's been a pretty big momentum stock. I caught it on this day here. I did catch on the breakout this day. Um, Sold it right in this area here. But I also butchered the trade earlier on this one. Just absolutely horrendous. I accidentally sold all my shares here and I had to rebuy it here and then it sold whatever. It was good profit. One of my biggest profits on any of my trades so far in my career. So great, but I butchered that one too. Butchered the long, and then I wanted to get on the short today, and then I got the. So I shorted it. Great. I saw it rejected a week. It went down pretty quickly, so I got in. I was expecting it to be like a pretty big red day on it today. And if you see this here, I absolutely. But I was gonna take some off. Like a tenth of the position just to lock some money in. Just something. But I accidentally covered my whole position, which absolutely just infuriated me. And then literally right as I covered it, it came straight down. And I was like, wow, well, don't tell me I did it again. I waited for it to come back up to VWAP area. Once I saw that it rejected again, I shorted it again. And then I covered some here. I was going to cover some down here at 2760, at 2770-ish. I just couldn't get there quick enough. It went straight down. I had a little stop limit order in. I had to take off the stop limit order because my broker doesn't let me do trades like that. Take off the stop limit order. I think, I don't know. I've never tried. Stop limit order. Take it off. As I was typing in the amount of shares I wanted and at what price, it jumped straight back up here. You can see this bar went straight back up. And then I shorted again at VWAP. I was gonna risk. It was a small position, tiny position. And then it kind of started basing, or it went up above VWAP, which I didn't like, so I got out of it for like a small loss. And then I reshorted it again when it kind of showed some weakness. Shorted again, didn't cover any down here. I was hoping it was gonna reject a couple more times and then start fading down, but it eventually didn't. So I stopped out once it broke above this area here. Once it broke above these highs, or these lower highs, higher lows, lower highs. Anyways, I was gonna get stopped out, so I eventually did. But it also came back up to my line again, um, and I could have shorted as well. But I wasn't here; I was working out. I could have done that as well. But once I, made one in the day, I didn't want to risk anymore. So this was my second trade. Completely butchered it. Just completely butchered it. This could have been not a fantastic trade, like a day-changing trade, but just some money that I missed out on, that I completely fumbled. Just absolutely horrendous trade. Just absolutely just fumbled all of it. It's disgusting. And next is I did UMN, and next was VRAX, VRAX. So this one from studying COVID stocks, breakouts, all the breakouts during COVID, especially biotech names when COVID was really popping off. Right now, the play is monkeypox. Kind of like that's what the trend is right now. That's what like the growing momentum stocks that are going right now are kind of monkeypox. I have let's see which one's there. Monkeypox. So VRAX, APDN, ALZN completely just faded. GovX, TNXP at the time, and then Cinch. Oh, Cinch now. Cinch is breaking down. That sucks. I also borrowed some shares earlier today. Never eventually did anything, but anyway, VRAX, and also during those times they built high tide flags or small bases, kind of looking like similar to this. I like this one. This one's great. Bounced off the 10-day. Volume was decreasing. Went from 1.5 or went from 47 million, 11 million, 7.5, 4.1, 1.5, and it kind of bounced off this 10-day moving average, kind of like a tiny little base. I guess not really. And then it gapped up on some news. The news was that they were distributing, I think, tests for monkeypox in Europe and some areas like that, if I remember this morning. So I thought to myself, if this opens up, it opened up around, I think, 20%. Yeah, 27%. And I said to myself, this reminds me of some of those COVID plays back in the day. And I think could go break out above 9 if it really wanted to, if the market allowed it to. So I thought to myself, if this has a lot of volume in the morning and it breaks out, I'm going to buy it. And it eventually did. What I did was I bought some. So while I was going through ASTS and while I was going through ASTS and the Lumen trades, because these were all at the same time, I kind of put these trades on. I kind of missed this one. I was going to wait for it to break out here. This is the 1 minute. I like to look at a 1 minute as a breakouts, even though sometimes the fail rate's a lot higher on these. This was 645ish, and I was going to wait for it to break out 645 and buy it. But there was so much volume here, and just shot up just so quickly. I couldn't even. I could see from the corner of my eye just shoot straight up, and then I just bought some at the market, which came to around 675ish, $6.75, and then I slowly sold some up on the way up. This wasn't a full swing trade in my opinion. I really thought this was, because I've seen this before. I was gonna hold some for the long term, but I was gonna get most of it or half of the position out today just to lock some in. Because sometimes biotechs are really scared to trade. They could come out news tonight and go down 80%. So I sold these along the way. I didn't like the way its action was right around this area. It was starting to not base, but it was starting to go under VWAP, come over. It just started getting really choppy. And on a stock that breaks out, I do not want to see choppiness. I want to see it just go straight up and then slowly grind higher. And then I said to myself, if it breaks out higher from this base looking area, I was gonna buy some more, uh, because I sold some here. I sold all the rest of my position here. I didn't like the way it was, like the way it was looking. I didn't like the way it felt. So I sold it out, and then it eventually cracked. I didn't have any shares. This was hard to borrow. I didn't look for any shares because my thesis wasn't short. But yeah, I was looking for a long trade here. Got it. Did pretty well. I think I really liked this trade. ASTS, I really fucked that one up. It was horrible. But eventually broke down and still breaking down. But yeah, so those are my three trades for the day. Nothing too crazy. Just starting out again. But yeah, it's first day doing a video journal.